the BA podcast. My name is Gavin. We'll be meeting with the Filmmakers Fellowship Club today. Anders and Mr. Hasper. Welcome, you two. So
Thank
I'm going
you.
to be starting off with the first question. What inspired you to start this club, first off?
I would say it started definitely in seventh grade, even though I wasn't part of Elite until my 10th grade year, which was last year. I would say the idea of doing that definitely started when I started creating films in seventh grade. And during that time, that was definitely the height of the pandemic. I know all of you can relate to that time. And yeah, and it was really hard to submit physical work because either you have to take a picture and then send that picture over, but usually the picture does not do justice, or you send the whole thing over, which can be difficult sometimes. So filmmaking was the primary way I submit a lot of my projects for school. And I would say around ninth grade, I started thinking about the club because that's my mom had wanted me to transition into homeschool because it'd be more flexible for us. And I was formulating that Filmmakers Fellowship idea because, again, during COVID, very spread apart. We cannot communicate, it's very difficult to be with each other. So the Filmmakers Fellowship was a place to allow students to kind of express themselves and tell their stories through the medium of film. And so far, we've done really well, I think. The film festival I remember last year did extremely well. And I think I did the podcast here last year, and I'm excited to be here again. And yeah,
Well, I
thank
mean,
you
the
so much.
idea, the logic, I'm sorry for cutting you off, Mr. Smith. I did it on purpose, like I always do. I really like the idea of the club, and I think a lot of people do as well. And I think it's safe to say that your club is doing really good.
Thank you.
Now to Jesse for the next question.
Okay. My question that I decided to ask was, what do you usually create in the club?
Typically we make films, but to expand upon that, because that's not a very good answer, is a lot of us make a lot of different types of genres of films and different types of ways of film. I guess the best way is like both live action and animation. I would say those are two different mediums, but they're still within the realm of filmmaking. And this year, actually, we're having a few students are making animated films, which is really exciting. And a lot of us are also making live action, so we have a camera and all that type of stuff. And I know a lot of the students or members in the club are pretty talented artists. I know they've shared some of the work they've done, just not just animation, but just still work. And actually, one of our members who joined this year is, I think his name is Lee. He's been doing a lot of 3D animation in Blender, which is really interesting and awesome. And now we have a lot coming up, so stay tuned. And yeah.
Yeah, and like animation, that's a really hard place to get into because the fact that you have to write every single frame, there's like 60 frames per second. So
Yeah.
you have to, or like, I think it's 60 frame. Like, could you help me with here? Because I don't know particularly how that would work.
Sometimes it depends really on sorry, the vision of the filmmaker. I know typically for just regular film, things are usually set at 30 frames per second for just rolling film. I know for more artistic um animation, it can go to about 12. I know something like Into the Spider-Verse, that was actually, it uses a lot of changing frame rates. I'm not too sure about the exact numbers, but it's really up to the artist on the exact frame rate.
Yeah, and it's really up to them if they want to put the commitment in for that many frames per second or this one, because I definitely the Spider-Verse movie, that was perfect the way it was with all the frames, the frames completely kept changing. So yeah, I see what you're saying. And animation is also a very hard medium to get into as you have to be really good with your art. So on that note, Miranda, you're going to be taking off our next question with what are your most, well, I probably shouldn't say it because it's Miranda for asking the question, but yeah, go ahead.
What are the most memorable moments of this year?
I would say, I think I would say probably working on this promotional video that we're making for this upcoming film festival. It works both for the club and the film festival. Um, it's been something we've been working on throughout. Since we've been planning it since last term, fall, and we've been working on it up until now. I have the final cut ready. I just have to send it. And it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good. Make sure you are out on ParentSquare. I'm pretty sure it'll be there. It'll be with the announcement of like a second announcement of the film festival. So just keep your eyes out and you'll see the full product of it. I think it's pretty good. We've all worked really hard on it. And yeah, that's probably the most memorable because we've worked so long on it.
And also, like any other podcasters that want to jump in here, I really think that yeah, I really think the film festival is also really good, and all the project that you guys are all piecing together as a group. I think that's also very interesting because I feel like every single club in the school is really doing something, whether it's like a big project where they're all adding up to. So, or whether it's promoting it like the BLE podcast or actually doing it like the musical with Mr. Nelson. And you doing the film festival and everything like that. So I really respect any of that. And if anybody wants to jump in here from filmmakers, that would also be lovely.
I was just about to jump in as a filmmaker too. All right, little plot twist. I'm not just a podcaster. I'm a filmmaker. Ooh. Okay, so for me, I've had a lot of memorable moments in the 2 years I've been with the Filmmakers Fellowship. I will have to say, honestly, making my film is pretty fun. Like actually being able to film yourself, and I think I've made some pretty funny films, and I'd have to be like, what's the word? I'd have to be almost like I'd have to have like a straight face because my brother would also act in my films. Like he is really funny. He'd have like the craziest acting skills ever, and I'd have to try to like keep a straight face and try not to laugh. And it's just so funny, especially like in like the bloopers and things like that. It's just really funny. But I will say, one time in this one filmmakers fellowship meeting, okay, it was on April 1st. It was on April 1st. And what happened was that we went into the meeting, and I think about 15 minutes into the meeting, we see someone pop in, and it's just named Bear. We're like,
Yeah,
what?
fucking bear.
We're like, what? And then it's just this nice little soft teddy bear on the screen, on camera. And it's so adorable. It was so funny. And like it would communicate using notes.
Yeah,
And I remember we were trying to like decipher it.
yeah, because I didn't. I remember I was sharing my screen, so when it was writing notes, it was super small. So I'm like, oh, I got to unshare my screen. I need to see how they're communicating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
no
we all
chat,
tried to
just
like
writing in notes. No chat, no voice, pure notes.
it was so funny. And then we all try to
It's
like
actually
become
hilarious,
animals
though.
with it. It was so funny. Such great
Yeah.
times.
I think we came to the conclusion that it was just a bear. There was no other explanation. It was just a bear who joined our meeting.
Yep.
His name is Jeff, by the way, with a Geoff.
GOFF. That's perfect. Well, yeah, I mean that's awesome for you, like, for, especially from Xavier's part of the family, and also in the chat here we have our ParentSquare feed for the annual Filmmakers Fellowship Film Festival. We're also going to be dropping that in the description. It's a big tongue twister. I'm surprised I said it. Well, moving on to the next question for Iman.
What are your favorite parts of filmmaking?
For me personally, I don't know why. I just enjoy the editing process. I've always done it. I've always enjoyed it. I remember a lot of my first films were not didn't have film or used live action. It was all using PNGs and moving them across the screen via keyframing and tweening and all that type of stuff. And that's how I did a lot of my earlier works. Now I do both. I do both of that tweening or PNG moving. And I don't know, I've always enjoyed the editing part. I love adding the sound effects, making sure the timing is just right. And I think probably because you see all your work come into one, whether you're doing PNG or film, because with PNG you have to do all the Photoshop, which can take some time. And if you're doing live film, you have to film it. And in the editing process, you finally get to see your work all come together into a cohesive thing. Because again, if you're filming, typically if you want to film efficiently, you'll film out of order. You won't film in the order which the script is or how the story goes. You'll film at locations where you can film that part. And typically it'll all be distant. They'll all be filmed at different times. And editing, again, brings it all together, and it's so satisfying. I think I see why I'm so addicted to filmmaking now.
If I
And
could
the
just-
edit. Oh, sorry, you could jump in.
I just wanted to say I'm editing the Monday Minutes. Make sure you guys watch them because we don't get enough views on those. Anyways, I edit those videos and they take about an hour. I'd say it takes about a few days for you.
Oh, definitely. I would say, depending on the length, it can take either probably a few days for like a 5 minute video to usually the films are 5 minutes. So if I want to put a lot of work into it, it'll typically take multiple weeks, but doing it like a little bit each day, because again, I've got other stuff to do. So trying to do editing on top of that can be a little difficult. But let's say I just have the day to editing. I would say a 5 minute video takes at most maybe a couple of weeks. I'm not sure how that is for everyone else though.
And that's like animation wise, right? To like put it all together, or is it just like live action? Like, how would you say like 5 minute video wise?
I guess for something like live action, that would take a little bit less time, depending on the length of your clips. Because I know for some, there's a lots of cuts in between. There's a lot of clips to manage. I would say I guess it would take less time. It would probably be a week for me, maybe. It might take less for more experience. Might take more for more beginners. I guess it really comes down to what you're trying to do and how much level of detail you want to put into it. Because I know for like special effects, I haven't delved that deeply into it. There's some stuff I'm doing, but um that can take a lot of time. Just trying to figure it out.
Xavier does the special effects. He's the
I was
special.
just about to add on to that.
And
And
get in there.
special effects, I love those, honestly. I'm still trying to learn because I'm like grasping the concept of it. And plus, if I were to get like something like Adobe Animate or something like that, I'd be able to really put them to good use. And I'm also learning how to like create my own special effects, which probably I'm going to be dealing with that in the summer because at school it's pretty hard to balance everything. But I'd say for like an animation or like a 5 minute video, I'd say it's yeah, like Andrew said, it all depends who you are. For me, I can get it done pretty quickly because maybe I get all my schoolwork done like in the beginning of the day. And this is for student filmmakers, it's like a tip for them. And like you get all your schoolwork done in the beginning of the day, right? Then you have your schedule. And if you want to either balance it out every day, or you could just say, you know what, I'm gonna animate for like 5 hours because I'm crazy like that. I'm just gonna get that done in a big long chunk. Then yeah, but it all just depends on who you are, what your schedule looks like, and how long you want to dedicate your time to animate.
You're right, like how much time you want to put into it and how to schedule after that as well. And like, I couldn't do that for the life of me because I have so much stuff I do in a day. But yeah, like it would be nice to have like a side project, do something like that. And definitely I'm going to come stop over at the Filmmakers Fellowship Club so I can see what it's all about. And also I want to give the next question over to Xavier for the Filmmakers Fellowship Club.
And now I'm back to being a podcaster. So this is my question. What software do you guys use for your films? And do you guys like to use special effects, which you guys already kind of answered that? But I guess the question would be, what software do you guys like to use?
My personal favorite is Adobe Premiere Pro. It's the one I've been using probably the longest now, although I would say you definitely do not need to use it. A lot of my earlier works, which are still some of my favorites, were done in iMovie, the editing software that comes with, I'm pretty sure, every Apple product. It comes on all their Macs. It comes on, I'm pretty sure, their tablets as well. And although I would say it's much more limited, I think you're only limited to one image over an existing image. You can only have one layer, I'm pretty sure. And although it worked for a time, at a certain point it became really limiting, and I wanted more layers, man. That was the main thing. I wanted more layers, and Adobe Premiere provided that for me, and I've been sticking with it ever since. Um, since it's actually not just me here, other people can explain the other ones they use. I know to rattle some off the top of my head. I know some people use DaVinci Resolve for one of them. Some use CapCut, and animating. I'm not too familiar with animating. I know my sister does a lot of animating. But I think Flip a Clip is one of them that I can think of. And yeah, I'll give it to the other member to explain the ones that they use.
Right now, for me, I'm trying to make a stickman animation, and I'm super, 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 and I mean super new to animating. It's honestly crazy that I'm deciding to do this, but I like to challenge myself. I'm giving myself that challenge, and yeah, I like to use Flip. It's a really handy software, and I mean, not to like kind of put them down, but I'm using like their free version just because I mean it kind of basically has everything you need. But if you want to go more in depth, you get like the monthly or yearly, which is actually pretty cheap. But Flip a Clip's pretty good. And depending on the software you use, Blender is also a really good option, especially if you want to get into 3D animating. But 2D animating is pretty easy too. I know Lee is an absolute expert at modeling and coding in Blender, so he can talk to you all about that. But yeah, honestly, for me, animating is such a fun thing. And yeah, Flip a Clip or Blender are like my top two softwares I like to use.
And also to add on to that, I think Blender, not only is it a 3D animating software, it also can just edit regular videos, I'm pretty sure. So that's another one.
Yeah. And like any other students here could pop in before we move on to the next question.
I can. My mic's working. Cool. Um, when I use a lot of Blender. The it definitely, like they said, it has 3D, but also has 2D editing and special effects as well. That helps. I for my film, I used stop motion and then stop motion on a green screen, and then I used Blender to turn the green screen into a whole bunch of PNGs that I could then sequence through in a 3D environment in Blender.
Yeah, his film's really cool. I'm really excited for you guys to see this one because we've seen it. It's really good, and you'll see it at the film festival.
That is awesome. And like yeah, once more, I'm going to give it one more time. If any other students want to jump in and say their experiences with any other service that they haven't stated here, or even the service that they have stated here to use it. But there's also going to be like an open talk at the end if you want, if Mr. Smith won't edit it out if it doesn't get too vulgar. Anyway, let's move on to the next question. And that is going to be Iman.
You have a film festival in May. Can you tell us about it?
So the elusive film festival, which I've been hinting out throughout the film, definitely not a subtle drop. Wink, wink. Yeah. So the film festival is in May, and it's been confirmed to be on May 20th. 20th. That's a Tuesday, and it'll be at 3. So please be there. We'll be very excited to see you. Last year, if I remember correctly, there was about 33 like concurrent viewers at one point, but it might have been more. It was it went it went better than I honestly expected. I thought maybe like 20 people, maybe more realistically 15, but 33, that is pretty good, especially for a first year club. I think it went really well. Now for this year, I mean, last year was pretty good, but I think this year can top it. I'm like 90% sure. We've got some old favorites. We got Xavier. His was really good last year, and I don't know, from hearing about it throughout the meetings that we've been doing and in this podcast right here, it sounds really good. So I'm excited to hear that. Again, I mentioned Lee's being in Blender. It's one of our first 3D animated ones and stop motion ones, I think. And again, I saw it. It's amazing. I can't wait for you all to see it. Another member that rejoined us recently is Michael. Yeah, Michael, and he made his film last year. I really liked it. It was very it uses like a combination of some special effects and then a hint of mystery. Kind of if you're familiar with I don't know, would it be SCP, Backrooms, those types of stuff? That's kind of the vibe that it was last year. And I'm not sure if he's doing something similar this year. I know he's just been working on it throughout the year. And I don't know, from remembering last year, I'm sure it's gonna be great. And those are the ones that are confirmed. We have other members. I'm not sure about their progress on their films, if they're making one. And yeah, I mean, we have a strong we have a strong lineup so far. And on top of mine, I think again, I think I said this last podcast, but I think this one that I'm making now, I think will likely top the one I made last year. And I thought the last one couldn't be the one last year was topped the other ones and or top the other ones I have made.
Chicken nuggies? You can't top chicken nuggies.
I don't know. Who knows? I mean, what better way to top chicken nuggies than more chicken nuggies? So
Yeah, legendary. But if anybody wants to jump in here and talk about the film festival anymore, you can in like the next 5 minutes. I'm going to be closing off with our outro. So
Yeah, I'd like to chime in that I think that it's really outstanding to watch these students create on their own. No help from me. Not like I'm the awesome director that really could do a whole lot for them. But it's really amazing to watch these students have so much ambition and be able to create these masterpieces on their own. I think it's really fun to watch them have so many different ideas and then us collaborate and then help each other. I think it's really cool. It's cool to watch like Lee do his style, and then Xavier has his style, and Anders has his style, and we have some other people that have different movies. So it's really cool just to see the different creativity with everybody and their own creative minds and what they're able to come up with. They're a great set of people. If you guys ever want to join us, you're more than welcome to join the Filmmakers Fellowship Club next year and make your own movies. We'd love more people. And yeah.
And yeah, you can find that in ParentSquare or Student Square, wherever you want to find it, and just follow them there. And then it's going to be around there next year, right? For the session
I'm
link.
still around.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be doing the outro now. So this was Gavin with the BLE podcast. Please make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Make sure to follow us on X, Twitter, or whatever you want to call it. Instagram, do we have a Facebook?
We do.
Oh, yes. Follow us on Facebook and any other social things we have that I'm missing here. This was the BLE podcast. Have a good one, everybody.
Thank you for having us.